right, guys, welcome to the Swing Strategy Season 2. We went through that hurricane yet last week, so I wasn't really able to get on the stream last week because of that. I had no power for a while, but we're survived and we're alive, and we're still here with a heartbeat. So welcome back. You kind of had a break, I suppose you can call it, last week, and we are here this week to go. I think we should just go into paper trading, the strategy, and answer any questions you guys have, and give me some feedback if you practice the strategy so far. Let me know how it's been going. You can also open up the mic and share that information as well, or you can put it in the chats. That's totally fine too. But I think paper trading is really essential. I think if you're trying to learn a new strategy, paper trading it, and I don't care. I was just talking to Pookie about this. It doesn't matter what social media, who says paper trading's garbage. Use your real money to, practice and, practice strategies or practice learning, to take losses and stop losses and take profits, blah, blah, blah. I'm a firm believer in paper trading, at least with strategies, testing out strategies, fine tuning your strategy, to then go into your real capital, your real funds that you actually want to use because you perfected that in paper trading. You're using the real chart, you're still using market hours, you're still using volume, you're still using RSI, all the stuff that you're going to use in real time, you're using still in paper trading. You're just perfecting yourself and understanding, your position size, and you take profits, where you're taking profits, where your stop losses, to just fine tune your trading plan to go along with the strategy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do you guys, any of you, use paper trading? Good morning. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Seda Brown. Good morning, Tick, TNT. Shen, good morning. Stickman, welcome back. So, and also you get spooked, right? If you go right into it, the deep end with cash, your real money, you get spooked when you start taking a loss or taking some bigger losses because you're not following through with your trading plan. You spook. You don't want to use your real money anymore. You just like a lot more cautious, and you have more anxiety in trading. So paper trading for me, practice. You can practice with, I'm not saying practice with 100,000 or practice with 500K or something. Practice with small amounts, realistic amounts that you're going to use in real time, and just practice. If you take losses, make sure that they're minimal losses. If you're in 5 trades, based on the strategy, make sure that you have like pretty much the same plan for every single trade based on the strategy, the position size, the stop loss percentage, the profit percentage. Like if you're risking 1%, you want to make 2%. If you're risking 5%, you want to make 10% on your profit side. So it's okay. And once you get into the rhythm and you get confident, like, oh yeah, I know exactly where I'm buying now. I know exactly where I'm going to stop loss. I know that, not every one of them are going to work out, right? Realistically, none of them are going to, not 100% of your trades are going to work out the way you planned. That's not ever going to happen. There's going to be some losses. But the overall thing here is that your winners outweigh the losses based on the strategy that we've learned here today, right? We learned in the past 10 classes or 9 classes that we've been here, and your winners outweigh your losses based on a simple strategy and your plan. No, the mic's still here. You guys hear me good, right? Maybe your mic needs to be a little bit changed, Tim. Maybe look in your settings. Yeah. So anyone, I'm going to teach you guys just today, paper trading. Any questions that you guys have about the strategy, anything that you finding hard to do, because as a coach, I just don't want to be teaching you just a strategy and we just go by a syllabus. We're going to change it up a little bit where if you have any hard problems, you have some hard times in trading, or something's going well for you that you want to share and you want to, get some opinions on or whatever, just share that information. It's okay. We're here to help. That's what coaches kind of do. We're going to try to get through that problem and find a solution to it. And if you have TradingView, I believe it's probably the easiest one to paper trade. You can paper trade. You can make an account up for TradingView. It's free. You can make the free one up. You just can't use all these indicators. You can only use like 2 at a time, I think, or 1 at a time. But TradingView does have a great, easy to use paper trading. Oh, in this channel, there's special permissions. Is there? It's weird. Everyone here. I'm not going to mess with it. We can figure that out with Pooks sometimes. Okay, so I'm in TradingView. And if you guys want to follow along, that's fine, because I just started this like paper trading account on TradingView. And it's pretty simple how to do it. I just learned how to do it right now, actually. My one's on Webull, my paper trading, but I think TradingView is an easier one to teach. And all you're going to do is, let me see if it comes up here. Okay, so I minimize that section. But you're going to come down here to, what's it? I believe it said like, was it stock tester? This, let me sign out of this. Make sure it's right. Sign out. Okay, that's right. So down here, you're going to see on TradingView trading panel. That's what you're going to click at the bottom, and it's going to bring up all these, right? So if you didn't know, now you do, that you can connect your brokers up to TradingView. So you can buy and sell off the charts on TradingView, and it will go directly to your broker, right? So if you have Webull, you can connect your Webull. If you have any of these, you can connect your account to TradingView and then trade directly off the charts on TradingView. I got a Moomoo account, which I'm going to start using more of. If you have Moomoo and you just haven't used the account, it's pretty good, guys, because I just downloaded their desktop edition, like their desktop platform, and it's actually very clean. They updated it recently, and there's some really cool features on the actual platform, and it's actually better than Webull, I think, like to draw and to chart on. I think I like Moomoo much better now. Before I hated it, but now I actually like it's very clean and easy to use. So I'm gonna probably start sharing my Moomoo desktop weekly in my streams instead of like Webull now. And I'm gonna I put like I threw a little amount in this account, and I will just start live trading this Moomoo account in my streams once that's set up. And I think that will also, just give you guys more confidence seeing me trade with real money, strategies or day trading or whatever it is in my stream that I do. You can see it live in my account, what I'm doing. So that's what you're going to do. And then you just click on paper trading. It's going to be on the left. You press connect, and then it's going to connect to your account, your TradingView account. And from there, it's going to bring up, paper trading. You can go, if you want to reset the balance, because I believe it was at 100,000 before. Now you can just go to press that little toggle here beside your name, your account name, account settings, and you can reset the account and put the actual amount you want. I put 2,500, reasonable amount. Reset your balance, and then easy as buying and selling up here on the chart. So you buy, you sell with these toggles. And when you click one of these, it's not going to instantly buy. You click it, and it's going to come up with the order little box, right? So through here, you can see buy, sell, and then here you can put your share amount in. And what's cool about it is you can put your take profit in, you can put your stop loss in place, so what you're risking. And then if you want to get like, if you're trying to risk 5%, say, then you want to have this at 10% on the take profit, right? So you're risking 5, want to get 10% back. You want to get 2 for 1 for 2, right? So that's how you can use this pretty easily, and it can be a very good flow to practice in based on the strategy. So we're buying off the daily, right, off the green, and our stop loss is at the red. So you can either do it by percentages, or you can do it by price, or you can do it by percent of balance, and you can just put that information in. And then take profit and stop loss. If you want to do that, you can. But I am going to just begin pretty much just buying shares off of our strategy, and then kind of reviewing them weekly, because we did have that competition, but I think that maybe some people kind of forgot about it, right? So yeah, press Shift and B for buy. So remember that this is how easy it can be. And once you buy something, say, actually, I don't know if anyone tuned into the Robinhood event yesterday. I still don't like their platform. It sucks that, they're trying to make it all like modern and stuff, but trying to capture the young audience. But I feel like it's still stressful to deal with their platform and their charting and stuff, right? So I still would stick to something like this. So let me go to our screener real quick. Hold on. So I'm going to share that with you. And if you guys have any questions, and you can just pop them in the chat. If you have any problems, like any stressful stuff that you experienced recently, put in the chat. I get to it during this live stream. Let me go to. Let me bring this up. Yeah, this is good. Go to FinViz. Bring this to this area. And let me share the other screen real quick. I want to share, let me see. This one. Just gonna switch screens real quick for you guys. Change windows. Where are we? Right here. This one. All right. So you guys see FinViz here? Oh well, that's a little. It was FinViz. So you guys see FinViz right on my screen now? This is basically, we're going to go through a screener. And I think we just need to practice our strategy, find stocks that based on our strategy, and then put it into action, right? And just learn from trading those. Yeah, Tim's. Yeah, Robinhood, it was like a weird event, pretty cool. And there was some weird like pauses in between and mishaps in the actual live stream or whatever it was, but it was their first like summit or whatever live, right? So I still don't like their platform using it, and I won't be using their legend, whatever charting that they have now. Let me just check in what's in daily. Sometimes I see volume picking up too late. So it's a good question for the daily. Like, we're going to go to the screener, right? And I'm on the screener now, and we're going to go to our strategy. which I've talked about in the previous live streams, and they are recorded, so you can go back to look at those in the education folder. But what we want to do is find stocks based on our strategy. The PE, because like we said, we're like hybrid, right? So we're looking at the fundamentals and also looking at the technical setup as well, right? So PE has to be lower. We can probably put this below like 25, or if you want even better, under 20 is good too. We want debt to equity under 100%. We want positive on the gross margins, which we can put up here above 50 on the gross. Operating positive, net positive. And then right here, I'll put on the RSI. We don't want it overbought, because if we're overbought, then we could see pullback. So we don't want to be super overbought on the RSI. And then we want the price to cross. The price crossed above the SMA 20 right here. And then we're going to this is why we only narrowed it down to, there's only 2 stocks here. Any. Just put not overbought. Gross margin, like there's only 2 here, and Yelp is one that we talked about before. Let me see if I can get a few more options here. Maybe I'll put it to 40% then. There's a few more options here on the table. So say we picked one of these. Anyone want to pick one out of this list? I don't know if you guys see it. We have Hess, we have LTC Properties, we have SM Energy, Skyworks Solutions, and Yelp. Anyone have any picks out of those 5? There's only 5 on this list today. SM? Anyone else have any option? SM's all right, I suppose. It's a big company. Big market cap. It could be a good one. This is the free version. It's not the I don't have paid version of FinViz, by the way. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Energy is like going to be fluctuating, especially into elections. Like, like if it's an oil gas company, would it be better for Harris to win, or would it be better for Trump to win? And maybe if it's a US based energy company, maybe it's good for Trump to win, right? Because he's all about doing energy here in the US and becoming energy efficient and energy independent and stuff. That maybe certain energy companies, that maybe solar would be more Harris than Trump, because she's more about green, more clean energy. So it could matter based on the election, right? But say we picked SM, so we're going to take this to the chart on SM, and I have my paper trading account set up here, 2,500, and we can bring this. Just bring this down a little bit. You guys see that it's a little bit widescreen on there, right? But should be good. Let me just see if I can minimize this a little bit. I've got this extra widescreen, so I don't want to like make it so small, so wide. So I think that should be probably better, right? Yeah, that looks a bit better right there. So we're going to bring this chart up. SM. This is a funky chart, but on the daily, I mean, it had such a big move. Let's look on the bigger these contract switches. This is different. Let's go to the real one. This one. All right, perfect. So we see here that on the bigger, we can go to the weekly time frame and kind of gauging what's happened in the past, right? The past, how long has it been since they IPO'd? 1992. So you can see there's lots of volatility over the years. We've gone up as high as, what is this up here? High as like $93. We've been as high as that. And then we've been as low as $1.50 right here, right? So you can see the big fluctuation in prices of this stock over the period of time, right? So since 1992, they've gone from all the way down here down to, you know, started at $2, went as high as $93. So that's really good solid profit if you bought it at IPO, right, and just held it for 20 years. But then we've been as low as $1.50 back here during COVID, right? Like this pretty much COVID area right here. So pretty much a double bottom. This is COVID dropped down. We've seen it go down as low as $1. And I don't know if you remember, but like oil went negative during that whole COVID. It went like negative numbers. So that was kind of weird. But then we've gone as high as recently as high as 54.97. So we know that we're actually towards the 52-week high compared with the 52-week low. We're much closer to that than we are the 52-week low, right? So we're way off the low, closer to the high. And if we want to put this into a trade, we can also say, well, put this trend line across the top. Because, you know, you also got to remember that we're going off a strategy. So we're buying off the green, selling under the red. If we're holding it all the way through, then we're buying off the green. So this is an example right here. We're buying off the green right here. And then, you know, you start to take profit, whatever. But then your max stop will be once we close under the red. So either way, most of the time you should, even if you bought at the green and sold at the red, you should be in profit on that last sell either way. Because, you know, we're waiting for confirmation above the green, waiting for that volume. You can see the surge in volume. We went from red to green, bought above the green, and then we sold our last position under the red. So you got yourself, you know, $30 to the last sell, maybe 36, so 20%. So what I'm getting at here is in between these moves, there's going to be, you know, support, resistance in between these zones that we're trading at too. So we always got to be mindful of those levels as well. It's not just a simple, okay, let's buy and sell. Like there's going to be levels that we got to get through along the way to see more upside. So just remember, support resistances is going to be in play with your strategy as well. So I put this trend line resistance because we got this high here, and you can see every time we touch this line, we've seen rejection, right? So that's a pretty good, strong trend line that we're going to have to watch and wait for a break of in order to trade this more confidently, we can say. Pretty much draw a line. Pretty much like we're bouncing off this level too. So I'm going to put a line right there as well. Saying that we bounced here, retested it, bounce. It's holding this area pretty well. So with this trade, and it kind of lines up perfectly because, you know, it's above the SMA 20, but we're now playing off the SMA 20 high and we're playing off the SMA 20 low. So it's not exactly going to bring up the screener above the green line. But what it's going to do is going to give us our eyes on the actual chart for when it does. So we're in early and we're saying, okay, well, we got this chart now. It's above the SMA 20. So we know it's bullish, but it's not above our buy-in range, above that SMA 20 high, the green line. So what we're going to do is we can then prepare, because if it does happen, now we got our eyes on it before it does. We can right click, we can put an alert on the chart. It can then alert us when it gets above this line. And once we close above the green line, we take a position. It can be a starter position. It can be a full position. Whatever risk you're willing to take and whatever risk you can take as a trader, you do it. So even if you want to, slowly buy in a position, then you buy 20% or 25%, and then another 25% when you start moving up into the right direction, and then you add the last part on the way up even more. If it breaks the resistance, the strongest resistance, maybe you look for continuation, you add a bit more of your position, whatever it is. Just know that what your risk is personally, and know, you either go full in 100% and then you just put a stop loss right in place underneath the red, or you go in 20% and you work your way into the position. Totally up to you. So right here, and I can bring the RSI up too. RSI is already here, sorry. So this is the RSI divergence as well. So you can see it's trending down. We got a red today. We're down, just barely down on the day on this energy stock. So we can click on the company and we can look into what they do, right? So you can look through their upcoming earnings. You can look at they have a dividend yield. You can look at their net income, look at their PE ratio, stuff like that. You can go through this chart and just look at their financial situation as well, because you're going to want to, if you want to be more confident in a long term, like a swing trade, I look at their financials all the time. Like, I want that extra cushion of confidence, you can say. So you can click on the name, you can go through their revenue, financials, look at any news that's come out, look at their technical summaries of indicators suggesting maybe it's a sell, analysts are saying it's a buy. And then you can see, this is seasonality. This is pretty cool. So you can look at previous movement over previous years, identifying reoccurring trends. So this is something that I didn't see before. Maybe it was added to TradingView, but here you can see, okay, well, this time of the year, this is what the stock has done in previous years, right? So you can see blue is now, and you can see that in 2022, up into November, we headed up higher and then pulled back towards December into January. So these are good things to know too, like previous price action in previous years. And you can see 2023, we kind of pulled back a little bit and kind of just was stable the way through to the end of the year. That's pretty cool as well. And then you can look at what they do. So you can look at financials, you can look at what the company's about, ownership, debt they have, what cash they have, valuation wise, what numbers they have. So you can always do that in TradingView as well. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to buy, this position just to show you how to trade it on TradingView. All you're going to do is press buy, obviously, and then the amount of shares. So say that you have 2,500 shares, $2,500, right? And you want to split that $2,500 up into maybe like 3 swings, because you want to make it worthwhile, the work that you put in for these swing trades. You don't want to trade like 5 or 6 swing trades with $2,500, because if you're up 20% on $500, it's okay, that's $100, but you could be in a much better position if you just split it up into a couple, 2, 3, right? Because you're going to make better profit. And if you have that kind of amount, you don't want to like spread it out too thin. I think that's what a lot of people have done in the past, where they put $2,500 in their account and they split into 10 swings, right? And that's going to be tough for you to justify premium, justify paying for coaching, stuff like that. So I want to make sure that you're in a good position where you're making decent returns, and you only have to follow a couple of swings. You don't have to, like, if you buy into 10 swing alerts or 10 swing positions, you got to check 10 stocks every day on news, see what's going on, keep up to date, see when earnings are for those 10 stocks, see if there's any insider selling, buying, stuff like that. It gets a little bit hard, right? I don't know if any of you guys have done that before, where you just bought way too many positions and it's just too hard to track. So if you have 2,500, you can split it into 2, 3 max, I would say. You can even just buy one swing position, say $1,000, and keep $1,500 on the side. Just keep it there, cash. You don't have to use your whole amount of money. So I'm just going to say that, okay, I'm going to use $1,000 on this one swing trade, right? So I'm going to use $1,000. Let's say I bought it at this price. I'm going to buy 23 shares at this price. It's going to pretty much get me to that 1,000, right? And at this point, I'm going to put here 23. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to use this platform. Let's see what 25, 23. Then just buy. And then when it happens, I don't know if you're going to see it on the, yeah, you're going to see it here. That's good. So in the Discord, you're going to see when it's executed at the bottom here. And then once that's gone through, you're going to see your positions here, right? So when you start buying your positions, you can start seeing them down here. Look at orders, look at history, count history, write, your trading journal as well. So I bought that position just to show you how to do it. And that's how simple it is. If you want to sell, you're just going to, you can probably just close position right here. Right? Click this. I don't know if that's going to, so you can just sell your position right here. If you want to partially close it, then you can change the amount of shares that you want to sell. So you either do full position or partial, 10, 5, whatever shares that you want to sell. And with this one, I'm just going to just put I don't know if I can change it here now. Tech position. I'm going to put stop loss in place. Say, I'm going to go by percentage wise. Say I'm going to put 2.5%. That's my stop loss right there, is 2.5%. And my profit is going to be 5%. So I just modify that. This is my profit. This is where I'm going to stop. That's it. And it's going to, you could basically just leave that and it will stop out once it hits that, or it will take profit once it hits that. You can obviously adjust it by the modify orders. You can change the amount of shares that you want to sell probably. But I'm just going to do full position, right? I'm just going to pretend this is my first and one buy only at this price. This is my stop loss. This is my profit taken. And that's it. You can also move this up and down if you want based on support and resistance. So you can say, okay, well, this is a resistance. That's where I'm going to modify it to that amount. And then the stop loss, even like, if there's like down here, if there's a support level, maybe just underneath the support level, you can put. Let me just make sure it's how I want it. 5. Modify. So I'm risking 2.5%. And I'm looking for 5%. And that's going to stay on the chart. And that's my position down here. So after placing your order, so say that you place your order and you didn't put stop loss in place or what have you, you can just double click your position down here. Double click it. Well, maybe not double click it. Edit. Protect position. You can right click it. Sorry. Right click, protect position, close position. So that you can either right click it or you can come across to the right side and right here on the little drawing tool, you can say protect. It will then come up here. You can put take profit or you can just put stop loss if you just want to put stop loss or just take profit, whatever you want to do. That's where you can change it and modify it. And that is as simple as it can get, right? And I'm just showing you guys how to do it. It's not set up to our strategy, right? Because we're waiting for it to go above the green line. But if it did go above the green line, I would put an order in place to buy once this happens above this area. And then you would change your risk to reward. Probably if I get in above the green line, I would aim here as my first target at this resistance. And then my stop loss would be under the red, whatever number that will be at that time when it gets above the green line. Because it's going to change because it's based on this SMA 20 lows. They're based on the previous 20 prices of the previous 20-day close price. So they're going to change, right? Day to day, they're always going to change. That's why you see the lines up and down. And that's how you can paper trade and practice. And that's what this class was about today. Just kind of getting on there, getting on the platform, and understanding how to use their paper trading platform and practicing the strategy. And I think that's good for everyone to try, and then give me some feedback every week. I can ask you guys how you're doing with the paper trade on the strategy. Maybe just pick one trade for the week, and then we can review it that next week in the live stream. If you guys are willing to do that. Charlie, good question there about the silent factor. So it really depends. With this strategy, it's set up to go 100% into your allocated funds for that trade and then just putting a stop loss right under the red. You could do that. If you want to not risk 100% allocated funds, then you just edge in slowly so you get more confident. Once you start seeing that it's moving up, you feel that there's more volume, it's moving in the right direction, maybe you add another 20%. Doesn't mean that you always have to add 100% of your funds that you're willing to put into it. Sometimes it runs up pretty quick and you just don't want to add more to it. That's fine. You just keep your 20% and start trimming that 20% along the way up. But this strategy is more of a buy 100% of your allocated funds above the green, stop loss below the red, and your profit taking obviously will be trimming along the way up. You can trim at the resistance above. You can look at resistance points and aim for targets there. That's what I do, especially channel trades. You can buy at support. Once we bounce off support, buy on the reversal, then aim at the resistance points for your targets. Target 1, target 2, target 3. So I don't know how many of you guys want to do like just a coaching competition paper trading. Let me know if you guys are up for that. And it can just be the coaching section. We don't even need to do it to the premium. We can just do it here and we can just practice our strategy, only our strategy. And we can review everyone that's willing to get on the stream like weekly. We can review their trade that they got into, what happened to it, what they learned from it, things like that. If you're willing to do that, I think that could be a very good added bonus to learning from each other as well. I mean, you don't have to use a paper trading account if you don't want to. If you're already confident about the strategy, you've been practicing the strategy. If you want to use your real funds, you can. We can just review that every week. We don't have to review just the paper trade. If you're confident, you've been doing this for a while, you know that the strategies work for you, you've been trading it, then you can use your real funded account, and then we can just review how the trade went as well. I'm just going to keep this paper trade account, and just we're going to talk about the trade ideas that I have in the swing section that I put out based on the strategy, and then also the ones we chat about in the chat room, and we talk about potential trades when they set up. Maybe I buy into one of those and I review those weekly as well. I'm going to hold myself accountable to do the same thing. I may only trade like one ticker a week or something when it sets up, but at the end of the day, it's about reviewing and adapting and learning from mistakes, or maybe learning from what you've done really well and what you can do more of. So I will wonder if I can that market what was that? Market Watch, that platform was a little bit weird, right? I mean, it was hard to kind of put in orders, sell, buy sometimes. So I see if there's another website that we can just like start a paper trading group there, where we can add everyone to the group, and then we can just kind of review that weekly or something, or maybe on the spreadsheet. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. But I would definitely stick to using TradingView for practice, right? Because you're going to go on the charts, you're going to know exactly where to buy, sell, where to put your take profit at, where to put your stop loss at. Maybe I just put a spreadsheet, maybe easier for us to keep track of our trades. Get with Pookie on that. But everyone understand how to buy and sell on TradingView now, or paper trading? Everyone feel okay using it? Yeah. Now, how's everyone's trading been this week? Do we have any questions? Do we have any concerns? Has your week gone really well that you want to share that information with us? Anyone want any charts to go through? Does anyone have any personal charts they want us to look at for setups? Okay, Bebnet. So you took this one yesterday. Let's have a look at this. This is one that's been like, it's very popular on socials, right? And it's hard to understand what's going on, being from all-time high up here. What would be at all-time high? 99. And then we've dropped down to as low as 28 in the matter of, is that like, that's May. So about 5 months, we've gone from all-time high to 99 down to 28. That's a big move that's happened, and we need to find out why it's dropped down so much. And I think that the problem is that a lot of traders don't understand the deal that they did with Pepsi, right? And Pepsi they bought a bunch of merchandise from them, a bunch of drinks. They're energy drinks, right? So they're like vegan energy drinks. They're meant to be better for you. They bought a bulk of those drinks from this company, and they have still a bunch of those that's product left. So they're not buying, essentially they're not buying a bunch of more product from this company. So that's when people are kind of, selling shares, shorting shares, because they see, okay, well, it's hitting their margins or whatever. But the deal is still in place with Pepsi. They're just obviously adapting their inventory. So they're getting rid of the whole inventory, and then they're going to start buying the product again because they have this deal in place. So we're seeing a lot of investors sell or short the stock because they don't really know the dynamics of the deal, and they see like, okay, well, it's hitting their bottom line right now in their last earnings. What's going on? And it's because Pepsi obviously are not buying as much product from them. They bought it in bulk back when they did, like a year ago or so, and they haven't bought a bunch more since then. So we're going to have this pullback in, is it Celsius? So so this one is a big, like, it's hard to understand what's the situation in, but there's a good video on Twitter that I saw someone post that explained the deal with Pepsi. They actually have a partnership. They're not just like the middleman here and just deliver the stuff. They have a partnership, a deal in place where they buy the product, then they go and ship it to the different locations. So they're buying the product, then they're shipping it to the locations that they're selling it at. They're not just a middleman distribution company. No, they actually have a deal in place where they're buying the product from this company. So we see a lot of negative press in this stock right now. But yeah, let me see what happened here. So are you stopped out this position? You bought yesterday, or you stopped out yet? Because if we're basing it off of this strategy, you'd be buying it right here. Say, like, I don't know, it held this area. Say we're buying it somewhere like here. We're buying it, right? So we're buying it around 32 to high 32s, maybe 33. And then if you bought it there, our stop loss would be, based on the strategy, our stop loss will be under the red. So we're looking at buying here, stop loss here, target. We can probably have, let me see, well, I can probably put this one paper trade. Let me see. Let me see if I can work this out. So say you got in up here. What's your entry? What's your entry on this one? EBNet. So you're in there at 33. And say we're basing our level off of a close under the red. So say we give it a little bit of room here. So you're in at 33.21. Make sure I get this. I really want to show stats. Let's leave that like that. So you're in here, and did you put a target in place? So you basically looked at maybe a support, like a resistance. We can probably put like right here. to around here, maybe around that area too. So say like this is our resistance above our entry. So we get in our entry right here where BEBNet got into, and this is where we'd be aiming for. So this is the first target, around 15%, $38. Max profit, like if we're looking to take that higher from there, then we look at the $40 range, which he said around $40. So we're going to say, okay, well, your entry's at 33.21, your target's at 40, so you're looking for a 22% profit. And if we did this by our strategy, if we lose the red, right, then our risk would be about 7%, say, give or take 7%. So, I mean, right now it still hasn't, I don't know if you're still in the position, but yes, you're down obviously 6% today from yesterday. That's a big move. That's the $2 move. But it hasn't sold out based on our strategy yet. Now, we could see a bounce right here at the red line, and the actual play is still valid and still in play. But it also, not everyone wants to risk that much, and maybe they risk a bit smaller. Maybe they have a different strategy, but they want to try to use this buy-in strategy that we have here. That's your personal, preference. But if we're going off this strategy, our stop loss would be around is that 30, 31, say? That would be like if it closed below 31, then that'd be like, okay, I'm definitely out. Definitely out this trade. I take the loss, what have you, and I'll move on, or I'll just wait for a setup to work out. But you're risking 7% and the profit is 22%. So that's a good risk to reward to get into this position. At that point, you're going to have to look at the fundamentals of it, see what's going on, see if there's any recent news that's coming out, and then make that final decision when to buy in or not buy in based on what you find fundamentally, and then based on the technical chart is when you finally plot out your areas to where to buy and sell. So you're still in position. Okay, so that's good. So do you have a stop loss in place, or you just gonna watch the chart and then stop out if it ends up closing below a certain area? Do you have a plan for the downside? I'm just going to buy it like, I can buy here 2 shares or something. Take profit at 10%. Risk 5%. 5%. What's up, blue? That's what I put now. Or maybe not. Oops. Dollars. I want to risk 5%. So weird. I don't know why it doesn't want to change. 5% risk, stop loss. So weird, but maybe because it keeps changing back here. So buy 2 shares. Let's execute. Take profit at 5%. 5%. I think something's going on. This is funky. Did that fix anything? I think that fixed it. Something's going on there, but anyways. Let's do like that. So that would be your stop loss. Let me see. My boss walked in. It's all right. So I would like see this. This is what could happen to guys. You can buy into, like, you see this. We're getting above the SMA 20 high. But this is what I also talk about too. Is that okay? There's a risk behind buying in here because we still got the slope of the SMA downwards. We still got the slope of the SMA low down. So it's not curling it up. So this is still going to be a risky trade to jump into. What you want to see is, okay, well, we're above the SMA 20, but we start to see this start curling up like that. Once we start to see these lines, that really wasn't a great line. But, oops, no, it's not good either. Try to make that better like that. So once we start to see, okay, well, it's above the green, we start to see the green line curl up, we start to see the red line slope up. That's when you're going to have a better confidence level that this trade is on its way back up. If you see sideways action or the SMA curling down still, you may want to be very cautious on entering a trade at that point. You want to wait till we start to see like this, where, okay, we got above the SMA 20, and just wait a little while. Now we're starting to curl up, right? And we're seeing that upwards motion in the SMA 20s. Now here, you're going to have to be very cautious, because if you buy when the SMA is sloping down, but we're trying to get above the SMA 20 green, or it's going sideways and we're getting above the SMA 20, you just got to be very, very cautious on trading when it's sloping sideways or downwards still. You're going to have to watch this one a bit closer than one that's, we got the SMA 20 sloping up, we got volume and movement to the upside. This right here would be a better trade than trying to trade something like this, say, right? It's not wrong because it's above the SMA 20 high, but we haven't really got a slope in the SMA 20 to the upside yet. It's kind of just downwards trending still. And it's sideways. So it's not real positive at the moment too, right? So just be very cautious of playing anything that's sloping down, the SMA 20 sloping down and the price action's above it, or if it's going sideways. If it's going sideways, you're going to see a lot of chop. If it starts sloping upwards, that's going to be a better way to trade it once we start seeing that upward slope in the SMA 20. And then obviously, like, this one's not incorrect. I still would have thought about trading this too, but just have a very tight plan in place. Stop loss maybe 31, right below the red line. The profit is not the part that you need to worry about, because if we start sloping up, we start moving up, then you're going to have time to take profit along the way. It's not going to be a problem. It's going to be the protection of your downside. You'll make sure that you keep your risk at a set rate that you're willing to lose if it doesn't work out. So that's the most important part about trading any strategy. Just get in, have your stop loss in place. The profit you can think about next day or the day after or a few hours later. Like, that's not going to be a problem, right? Because if we're going to see a move to the upside, you're going to have lots of time to trim positions and take profits and look where to take profits. It's all about protecting your downside once you're in position. And right now, you're in the red, right? It sucks you're in the red, but you're not out. You're not out of the trade yet. It's not a realized loss yet. Based on the strategy, you're still in until we start seeing it lose that red line and close below it. That's when you stop out based on the strategy, right? So I know it sucks that you're down a little bit overnight. The market's a little funky right now. Hopefully we hold this red line and we see some buying action down here for you, and then we start pushing off this level. But try not to adjust your stop loss. Try to stick to that strategy that you have originally. And if it doesn't work out, I know it's gonna hurt for a day or so, but you're gonna get it back in the next trade. We're gonna see some profits down the line. This may just be one loser that you experience. Okay. So let me see. TNT, what do you got there? This is GENC. Are you in this position? You still here? Not yet. I bought into this position right now at 31.42, and I'm still going to just put a stop loss in. You know, I may have got in not above the green, but I'm gonna put a stop loss in place if it lets me. I don't know if it's gonna let me. I'm gonna put a position right here at 31. That's what I'm gonna put it at. Maybe $30.99, something like that. And I'm still going to have my stop loss in. I'm still going to follow my stop loss under that red line. If it hits it, okay, I'll stop out of it, right? But I got that stop loss in place, and I can worry about taking profits along the way. I can probably just adjust it. Put profit here as well. Put $40, right? $40 here. So there's my profit. Take profit up here. I'm going to put it down to this 30, 38 first. Modify. So I'm going to put down here 38 and then my stop loss underneath that red line so we can keep track of that next week. So I'm just going to let it play out, right? And I got my stop loss in place to protect myself, and I got my profit level as well for both of these and see how they work out. Sometimes you can just let it be a system in place. As long as you've got your levels and your stops and your take profit, you can check it in a couple of days and see how it's doing. If it's stopped out, you're not going to see it here anymore. It's just going to stop you out, right? Let me see. GENC. I wonder, you cannot speak in this chat room, guys. I don't know if TNT wants to talk about it or not. Let me know if you want to try. But this one looks a good one too. Let's go off of this. Let's minimize that. Now, what's the plan? What the plan for this one is? Are you going to enter after it closes the daily candle today above this green line? What's your plan on this one? I suppose we have to get these these settings correct so you guys can speak. So with this one also, it's like, look at this big chart that it's had. Like, it's been on a nice run as well. Like on the weekly, we've had some nice breaks to the upside as well. So like the weekly is pretty powerful with the strategy entering down here, not really selling, right? On the daily, let's have a look at the daily. Daily is a little bit more fluctuation with the strategy. You're trying to talk, not letting me talk. That's so weird. Why is that? I blame Pookie. I blame Pookie for that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it says that you can speak. So weird. It says you can connect, you can speak. It's so weird that you can't say, I can't hear you. Let me look at the settings. Anyways, I figure it out. Yeah, I figure out maybe it's something to do with the channel. But do you want to just briefly write down what you want to do with this one, and then we'll close it up there as it's 12:05, right? So we've kind of gone over a little bit here. But if you want to give your opinion on this trade, it looks like a pretty good setup to me. It's above the SMA 20. We got a little curl to the upside as well on the SMAs, right? So they're kind of curling up to the upside, not like a huge slope, but we're moving in the right direction. Entry at 21. Pretty much looking for like a break, maybe of resistance. So if we put like a line around, maybe a little bit lower. Yeah. So you're looking for a break above 21. So like we're above the SMA 20, guys. So we're looking more positive, right? But if we're very close to a resistance point, we may want to keep that in mind, right? So if we're like with the Yelp that we reviewed last week, if we're very close to a resistance, we might as well wait for us to break above it and then enter once we break above that close resistance point. So with this one, we're very close to this resistance here, and we got rejection here and here. So we want to might as well just wait for us to clear that and then enter above 21. Financials look good, so we can check out the financials of this real quick. Let's go to FinChat. We use this one quite frequently. We can click on Gen C. We can go to the overview. We can briefly look at this real quick. So this is when we talk about fundamentals. It's just going to give us an extra like confidence boost when we see like things growing in the right direction and it's not negative. We can see the PE is below 20, so it's a valuation wise, it's not overvalued. It's towards the undervalued side. We can look at the gross is 28%. It's a bit low on the gross, but they're still positive on everything else. So the expenses aren't probably that much because some companies have big gross margins, but then the cost of that income, that revenue is a lot higher. So that's why we see a lot of negatives here. But 28% gross, net is 14% positive. So that's good. We can also see the growth here. The average here 14%, 3 years, 5% in 5 years. So these all look positive. And now you can go over to the financials real quick and go through these. We can go from 2020 onwards. And the revenue is, if it's a slope, we can say it's sloping up because we're going from 77 million to 113 this current year. Net income, we can see that the net income here went from 5 million plus up to 16 million. We had a little blip here in 2022. But you can see it's heading in the positive direction. It's going higher. So we can see that slope going higher. Balance sheet, we can look at asset-wise, 200 million. Cash, they have about 28 million cash and equivalent. Short-term investment, 87 million. So total cash and short-term investment, 116 million available. Liability is only 7 million. This is very good asset debt to asset ratio, right? It's very good because we got 200 million in assets. We only got 7 million in debt, like liabilities. And some of this could be just like leases and stuff, which is not really, I wouldn't even say that's a debt. So this is very good liability, low debt, high assets. Cash flow is very positive here too. Positive free cash flow. So things are looking good for this company. So this is giving you just an extra little boost that, okay, well, the company's not a crap company. So it could be setting up technically on the chart, and also fundamentally, it's a very good company as well. It's growing, it's showing profit, and it's not burning cash like, say, Lucid, right? Lucid's just throwing money into a fire when you invest in that company. So that's a big red flag for me. That's why I don't even trade Lucid or any of those crap companies anymore. I just want a fundamentally sound company before I jump in. So that's good. Then the entry we're going to put here, let me see, paper trade it. We're going to put here buy 21. when it gets to 21, I'm gonna put a limit. 21. I'm just putting random amounts of things here, right? So say I bought 10 shares. Maybe I won't put 10 shares, but it's how many positions I have already? 2, right? So I have 2 positions. I said I would split this in 3. So I'm going to spend about $500 on this one. So buy myself 23 shares, give or take 23. That's $483. And I'm going to wait for this to be $21. So I have a limit. All buys already at 21. So I put 21. Take profit. Do you know what you're going to take profit at for this one? Is there a number that you have in mind for the profit taken? Oh. Maybe up here. And then maybe up here, take out that high there. All-time highs. Where is Jay at? Yeah, crap company, beautiful ranges. This looks bullish. So yeah, so I say 21. Our profit we can put here, say 22.75, and we can go to all the way to the top if you want. We can go 24.91 even, and then our stop loss can be under the red, right? We're going by the strategy. So right there, say our stop loss would be around 20.15. I don't know if it bought anything yet. No, it didn't. So everything's placed 21. Once we get to above 21, it's going to, we're going to buy this 21 once we get to that level. And then our stop loss is in place at $20.15. And our take profit is, you put 23, we can put 23 there as well. We can adjust that. We're going to do this by TNT plan. Let me see orders. Bring that up here. Where is it? Right here. We can modify it, and we can change the take profit to 23, and then the stop loss, I'm just going to max it out. Let's just max it out. Put 24.50 as your target, and then your stop loss, go by that red line, $20.15. So you're trying to get back 3.21%, risking only 0.78%. Does that make sense, guys? So that's not the limit. Buy is there. It's not in, it hasn't bought it yet for 21. So once we get to 21, we buy that position, and that means that we're above our resistance here, and then our stop loss will be down here, and our target will be up here. To be honest, I'll probably just aim to take out that high right there. Maybe we put 25. Maybe we'd be ambitious here. So you risk, you're gonna, if it decides to not play out, you're losing $19. If it decides to, you know, work out the way we want it, then we're going to be, we can follow the trade along the way. We can trim positions if you want to. If you're happy with that profit, that's okay. You can have a first target as well as this last target in place. So TNT put $23 as the first target. Second target is $24.50 for her. So once we start edging our way up there, maybe we reduce the position at the first, but at the first target, if we decide to break through that, then we can just keep raising our stop along the way, and then take our last or trim more position once we get to the top here. If we decide to break this higher, then we can maybe leave a little bit of our position to go even higher from there, right? So it's all about planning. It's all about, you know, practicing the strategy, trying to find our slope on the SMAs, trying to enter above the green line, our stop loss below the red. and then knowing where your targets would be. And you can either do that by resistance points above, or if you're going by risk, then go by risk. So if you're risking 1%, you want to get, 3% back, right? Or you want to get maybe 5% back. If you're risking 2%, maybe you want to get 5, 7, 10%. You can do it by percentages, or you can do it by resistance points above. Now, if you're trading in the channel, if we I'll quickly draw out a channel real quick. We're trading in a channel like this. So this is the channel, right? This is just a channel trade. And we got this action. And we see this move from this is the channel trade, right? It's just respecting the resistance and support. So you can trade it within this channel range. And say I'm drawing here, say this is the SMA 20, something like this, right? I put this green. If you want some confirmation to buy into a channel like this, maybe your buy-in will be once we get above that SMA 20, and your target would be up here. Now, if we get rejection, you can take your profit right here. If we continue up, then you can just raise your profit up higher from there, right? Just maybe a trading stop, or just raising your stop loss up. Now, this would be your entry point. This would be your sell. If you want to play downside, once we lose the SMA 20, you can then aim to short it or play puts down to this strong support level in the channel. Reverse right here. If we decide to break above the SMA, maybe that's your stop loss, and then you buy calls or you buy shares to play it to the upside. So, channel trades also could be very well traded and easier to trade if you can find channel trades. And the SMA 20 is going to set up within that channel too. The only good thing about this is that very strong resistance levels, support levels that we've seen it work in between for the past maybe a year or 2 years, and they're well respected. Those are the best trades I like to trade, and you can trade with this strategy within channels as well, right? This is one of my favorite strategies, is just to trade up and down within a channel and just make it easy on us. So I got your order set up, TNT, for my paper trading account. Let's see if that works out this week or next week, or we shall see how that plays out. But it does look better, and it does meet the strategy. I would just wait for it to, like we say, above 21, and then we aim up here at 22. You said 22.50 or 22.30, and then up here at 24.50 as your secondary target. All right. Anyone have any last minute questions before I jump on out of here? I will give you guys some direction about the paper trading in the chats. Hopefully I can set something up, maybe a spreadsheet, or I can set up where we can track those positions that we're taking based on the strategy. If you guys want to be involved in that, I will give you some direction in the chat, hopefully by the end of the week. And then maybe we can start fresh Monday trading with the paper account. And then in our live stream every week, whoever wants to get up and review what happened with their trade, I'd be happy for you to do that. Yeah, people. You're waiting for one 50-minute candle above 21. Okay, we're on the daily chart. So wait for a daily candle above 21. Like when you go down to the 15-minute candle, it's going to be a very that's like a very short trade, I would say, because you're not trying to swing it off this strategy on a 15-minute candle above. When you're looking at 15-minute candles, I'm looking more day trading wise, or more of maybe a quick swing. Most likely a day trade when we're looking down at the 15-minute candles. Because the 15-minute candle, like candles on a chart for the day, could give you the overall trend, and then you enter on like the 5-minute candle, say. So yeah, so we want a daily candle close above 21. That's what we want. And if that happens, if it closes above 21 today, then tomorrow could be the day that we buy that position. If it doesn't, then it's going to come back down, and we're not going to buy into this position at all. Anyone have some good trades that they had this week? Come on, give yourself a pat on the back. There must be some good trades you guys made this week. Don't be shy. Duco, you must have made some good trades this week. TNT must have made some good trades this week. Stickman, the Porterhouse. Come on. Give yourself praise for the good trades that you made. Stop hurting yourself, Duco, okay? I don't want to take you to the doctor, the trading doctor. Oh, yes, that KMB. Yeah, that's the trade of the week for you, right? You traded it off the 20-day, and that's also great too. And Porterhouse is more on the option side as well, but you could do that too. If you're an option trader and you swing options, then this strategy could work for you as well on the option side. So say like you like to swing maybe some of these options and they have good contracts, then I don't see why you can't do option trading based on the strategy and a swing too, if that's what you prefer. Yeah, so you got, what do you get on that KMB? Like 200+%? That's how powerful it can be. And then ZS. So ZS last week, 315% on your options. Congrats on that as well. And if you got equities, a long time ago, we were talking about equities with ZS after, I think it was like a double bottom or something. I love myself some double bottoms. Yeah, so we were trading it off of here. So I put this chart in the stock chat and also in the option chat. I remember doing it in two places. And we're looking, like, this was the earnings, and we're looking for that. We're looking because we got this, right? And we got clearly this this triple top now, but we can see that this is also in the channel at this point, where we're looking at the time that I put the chart up, we're looking for a retest of the bottom right here, right here. And we're looking for a hold, some buying to step in, and then buy off of that triple bottom and aim for the top as the target. Now it looks like if we can't hold this level here, oops, maybe I just draw a line right here. If we can't hold this level right here, then we're likely going to see downside, and that may mean that we come down to trade maybe down to the 150s again, and then we trade this back up here again until one side breaks, where we can trade it down lower or trade it higher once the level breaks. And if you're looking for that more of an entry once we break, we want it to get through, and then we want to retest, and we want it to hold, and then we buy off of that retest hold. That's going to be a powerful indicator that we're going higher, and it's not just a fake out. So that's how we can enter once we break through. We enter once we pull back, and we hold, and then we play it to higher grounds from there. But this one's been a good trade from ZS. If you grab the shares in the 150s, I think it was at 158. I think I grabbed some. You played it all the way to the top of the channel, and right now it's not showing us any different. Looks like it may want to creep down again, and if that's the case, you can trade this down. Once we start picking up volume, then we can trade it back up to the upside. So good trades there, TNT. Congrats on that. The porterhouse was like 4 hours long digging into the stock drug. That was some crazy information about drugs. So 27% there. Rocket Lab, guys. And I know some of you have Rocket Lab from Shy Stuff, and that is a big winner too. 125%. IonQ, quick 20%. Enter Coin and up 7% next day. So you guys are doing some really great trades here. Just keep building that confidence, keep practicing strategy and your trading plan with the stops and the profit taking. Everything will get a flow and a process, and that's what you're looking for. Under the weather since the weekend, slowly coming back to life, so not doing too much, taking it easy. That's good. It's good that you're taking it easy and you understand that. I think this week was a little funky week, but equities really didn't move up that much. I think just tech moved up at the beginning of the week, and then we had blowout earnings with Taiwan Semiconductors yesterday, last night at 2 a.m. They had really good earnings, and we're up 11% just alone on this, and that's also pushed up NVIDIA. I believe NVIDIA's up higher today. New all-time high. No, not quite. It actually retested it though. Up here, got hard rejection right at that line. Look, NVIDIA. I'd be a little curious to see if we can get above that level. If we can probably do something like Apple, where it goes a lot higher than once we break through that strong resistance from June. Good stuff, Duco, on that as well. 12 hours on drug. You're crazy. Researching that. So I am going to close up shop now. I will see you next week. I will give you some details on the paper trading just within the coaching group. And we just keep it exclusive for the coaching group. And then base it off the strategy, and we can review those every week together. And if you want to go on the mic, you don't feel shy, and you feel like you want to give us that information, the mic is yours. So have a good lunch, guys, and I will see you, I think tomorrow we have a stream, or if not tomorrow, next week. Bye, guys.